So are you thinking about moving to Southern California? Because if you are, you just need to pump the brakes just a little bit. It's not all sunshines and rainbows in the beautiful state of California. There are some negatives, especially if you're moving from places like Texas, Arizona, Nevada, Idaho, or even New York. That's where majority of the clients that we tend to work with tend to move from. So there are some cultural differences that can alter your decision of whether or not ultimately you want to make that move. So we want to make sure that you guys know all of these ahead of time so you know whether or not you really want to make that move. So let's get after it right now. First time to this channel and you want to know everything that there is about living, eating, breathing, playing in Southern California, then subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Southern California. Hi, my name is Jonathan. The team and I get calls and emails every single day from people just like you looking to make their move. So whether you guys are moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom one-on-one so we can get face-to-face so we can help you make that smooth move to Southern California. So now let's really deep dive into some of these negatives about moving to California so you guys can consider all the possibilities, whether or not this is going to be the right move for you. So one of the things that California is known for, that is a negative, you guys, is the wildfires. Now, during the recent years, wildfires have become more and more common, especially out here in the West Coast, but especially in California. During the hot summer months, they are inevitable. I know the state and the city and the county, they're always constantly try to plan ahead for it. But I mean, there's just no planning ahead really for wildfire. They're gonna come, they're gonna be there. It's unfortunate, it does suck because along with wildfires, especially in the recent years, you know, comes other things such as you're gonna get probably higher homeowners insurance now, especially if you do live in a high fire hazard zone. That's what they call it. And so I know of some buddies that live in some of these areas and they do have to pay a little bit higher in homeowners insurance because of that specific reason. So that is one consideration that you guys need to take into account when, you know, thinking about making your move out here to Southern California. Along with the wildfires, just to add on to that, also you guys, we have consistent droughts. So if the fires weren't enough, we are always consistently in droughts, which is very, very unfortunate because how do we combat all these wildfires when we're consistently in a drought and we need to conserve water, right? I remember a time back in 2015, my very first house, I couldn't water my grass more than 3 times a week. Now, some people might be thinking, well, that's really all you need. Well, when weather is 100+ degrees, you know, for 20 days straight, you might need to water your grass a little bit more than 3 times a week. So that is one of the bad things, you know, that you do also have to put into consideration, because if you do love to have acreage and you love to have beautiful green, luscious landscape, you do have to put that into consideration because we're always consistently in a drought. As of right now, I also got a notification recently that I need to cut down on my water usage because we are in a stage 1, tier 1 drought. So that again, you do have to consider the consistent drought. So if wildfires wasn't enough and also a consistent drought, you guys, on top of all that, you're gonna get the summer heat. Now, if you're really living on the coast and you're coastal living, you're not really gonna feel that summer heat. It's majority of the people that move somewhat inland, you guys are gonna feel that summer heat, that blazing, you know, some of those blazing hot summers where, again, the weather can get in excess of over 100 degrees, which tends to kind of suck because it's just so hot. Yes, we don't get the humidity, but it's really dry. But however, you know, nobody really wants to be playing around in 100-degree weather for 20 days straight or whatever the case may be. So that is also something to take into consideration when you're thinking about making that move to Southern California, especially in the Inland Empire region or inland in general. You will have those hot summer months. Now, with the wildfires, consistent drought, and on top of the summer heat, you guys have to always think about the traffic. Now, I know California is known for historically horrific traffic. Well, it is very, very true. I've lived here a majority of my life, and it's been here since I've been born. It's probably going to be here long before after I die, unless Elon Musk, does some crazy things out here for us. But at any rate, yes, the traffic, it is pretty bad, especially if you do live in the cities like Los Angeles or San Diego. You're going to be hit the worst. LA is probably the worst city in California with the worst traffic, next to San Francisco, and then San Diego is not too far behind. So you always have to take that into consideration. It is the traffic, especially in the city. So what may take 5 to 10 minutes out here in the Inland Empire, 5 miles might take 5 to 10 minutes. If you move to the city, that 5 miles might take 30 to 45 minutes. And I'm not just making that up. I remember visiting my friend about a year ago in LA, and I was only 5 miles from his house. My GPS says I was going to take 37 minutes to get to his house, which it was just rough. And so again, this is real life. I'm telling you guys from my personal experience that you will be stuck in traffic, and you always have to plan ahead, because that is going to always happen. You have to plan ahead. What took me a 6-hour drive to try to go to San Jose, California, took me 9 hours because I didn't plan ahead and I didn't anticipate the traffic. I don't know what I was thinking, but I knew it was going to be there, and I was just hoping it wasn't. So bad for me, whatever. I got over it. At any rate, the traffic is very much there. So again, you just have to plan ahead, know where you're going, know what you're doing, and try to use alternative routes to try to get to your guys' destinations. Because if you take all the major roads or all the freeways here or the interstates, you're most likely going to hit that traffic. So it's just something to always consider as well. So if traffic doesn't kill it for you guys, there's also homelessness. So California is actually rated one of the worst places with homelessness, next to Hawaii and New York as well. So it is pretty bad, again, especially if you are planning to move to the bigger cities such as San Diego or Los Angeles here in the southern region. You will hit homelessness. It is going to be there. It is very unfortunate. They've been working on it for decades, and they've been trying to attack it. Now, would it be fixed in the next 3 to 5 years or 5 to 10? Probably not. It's most likely still going to be there. But however, the state of California does have a plan of attack to try to mitigate all the homelessness in California. They're making all these types of programs, homeless shelters to get people off the streets, which is a really, really cool thing that they are implementing. And I'm very proud of that. However, it's still there. It's still going to be there. And so another consideration when you guys are planning to make that move out here to Southern California. The next two are my personal favorites, because this is what everyone talks about when they're deciding to make their move to Southern California or California in general. One is going to be the high taxes. So the high taxes in California, it is very much real. So we have one of the highest state income taxes, upwards to 13.3%. Now, I'm not saying everyone's getting taxed on that tax bracket. Those are for the majority of, or the ultra wealthy, people that make $1 million and above are taxed at that 13.3%. However, the middle class or blue collar, or however you guys want to look at it, we're not too far off. I mean, we're still taxed fairly heavy, as you can see on this graph right here, that we are taxed pretty heavily. And so that is another consideration, because at the end of the day, your take home is not going to be as much as your take home, let's say, would be in Idaho or maybe Georgia or maybe Florida or Texas. It will affect your take home pay at the end of the day. So that is something that you very much have to consider when you're making that move out here to Southern California or California in general. Now, the second thing that's gonna finish off right here off my my favorite two that everyone always brings up. It is the cost of living. Yes, the cost of living is a little bit higher than the national average when it comes to everything. Pretty much everything is a little bit higher in California, especially in some specific cities. They are higher. Gas prices, for example, we have one of the highest gas prices in the nation, or we do have the highest gas prices in the nation. Currently, right now, I can go to a gas station and I'm going to be paying about $6.20 per gallon, trying to fill up my Toyota 4Runner, which is a nightmare right now. There is some places that I know that are $7 a gallon. I know some places in North Los Angeles that are upwards to $9 a gallon. So it's pretty rough out here. And the cost of living, again, is just that much higher. Now, not just the gas prices, but your overall daily foods and services. And so your transportation, your guys' food, your guys' clothes, everything is that much higher. The cost of living out here is that much higher. But at the end of the day, you do get all these beautiful things along with it. So you kind of get what you pay for in a sense. It is a beautiful sunny state with a tremendous amount of things to do. I mean, you'll never get bored living in California. However, these are the negatives when it comes to moving to California that you guys need to consider before you make that decision to get out here. I hope this video was helpful and useful. Thank you guys for watching Living in South California.